When I tell you all that it's essential to learn the fundamentals of construction, that sewing is 90% prep work, and that ironing is key, just know that my brother doesn't listen to me either. But he wanted me to critique his first pair of muslin pants that he sewed on his own, so we're gonna do that today. Honestly, with no guidance and foundational knowledge, he did okay, but there's plenty of room for improvement. First off, he can easily take the time to properly press his muslin and trim the threads for a cleaner finish. His buttonholes should be horizontal, not vertical, and the button placement itself is also not centered or aligned well. You can see here that there's a pucker and some skipped stitches on the waistband. The belt loops are a great example for why you need to use your iron throughout the process, because you can see that they're really inconsistent in the width of the belt loop itself as well as the width of the stitching. Also, the stitching didn't catch all the layers like it's supposed to, and they're kind of bubbly. If he ironed the fly while he was sewing it, it would have been a lot easier to avoid the extra fabric we see here, which can't be ironed out now since it's stitched into place. We can also work on keeping the stitches straighter and neater, and also making sure that the stitches are where it needs to be so that it catches all the layers it's supposed to. Moving on to the back, the seam allowance to the pockets need to be folded neater so that when you stitch them down, you don't see them peeking out. I also would stitch a bit closer to the edge for better durability and aesthetics. These are supposed to be darts, but you can see that they don't blend smoothly, which means that the stitches weren't tapered right to the edge of the fabric when they were sewn. He also should have used a box knot to tie the threads so that they don't come undone like they did here. He used zigzag stitches to finish his raw edges, but I would have chosen a different mock overlock stitch on his machine for more durability and a cleaner finish. He also should have trimmed the fabric right before running it through his machine since he wasn't using a serger with a blade. You'll notice that the seam allowance to his side seams have a twist in them, and that's because he stitched them down in opposite directions at the waistband and at the hem. To fix this, he would need to seam rip the hem and press the seam allowance to face the same direction as they are in the waistband. Last but not least, the hem should be adjusted so that the hem allowance is consistent throughout, the side seam and inseams align, and no raw edges are exposed. I would also hand stitch the hem allowance to the pant leg so that it can't fold down. Even though the road to improvement is long, I'm proud of Marco for getting his reps in.